Well, good morning. Do you need a mortgage? Volunteer Home Mortgage is here for you 7 days a week. Whether you're in Tennessee, Georgia, Florida, or beyond, Jerry and her expert team are ready to help you with purchases, refinances, and so much more. Don't wait. Call them today, 865-238-7500, or you can always visit them online at volunteerhomemortgage.com. All right, happy Thursday, everybody. Today is the day we've been talking about all week. We are under a level 1, level 2 risk for isolated strong to severe thunderstorms. The greatest risk, it's going to be damaging wind and large hail. And when I say large hail, we're talking about the possibility of like Lee-size hail, golf ball-size hail, Lee. You don't want any of that hitting you in the head or your cars or your rooftops, right? That's severe hail. So I'm going to walk you through all the latest details on that. I bring in Lee because he works at the golf course and he's always golfing. So if you do have golf plans today, something to kind of keep in mind. And Lee is joining us this morning. So good morning to you, Lee. And we got Deborah, Julie, Aaron, Christy, Katrina, Debbie, Dwayne, and Donna, along with Laura. Good morning, Laura. Missed you at the school the other day. Was over at Mill Creek Elementary School talking to the third graders. Lots of cool stuff. I'm going to be posting those pictures later on today as well. All right, let's first things first start you off with a live look in downtown Gatlinburg here this morning. And everything's nice and quiet. It is warmer to get the day started than what we were yesterday. So we've got that going for us. But, again, we do have the risk for some isolated strong thunderstorms. So here are your weather headlines. 2 rounds of rain, actually, heading our way throughout the day today. 2 rounds of rain heading our way through the day today. The first round comes through this morning, late morning, early afternoon. So probably about 10 to noon, 10 to 1 or so. And we could have some thunderstorms with that round, but no severe weather threat expected. It's the second round where we destabilize the atmosphere and we start to see the possibility of some supercell thunderstorms developing, but not in the case of tornadoes. Tornadoes are not necessarily ever off the table when we're talking severe weather. It just never is. But the atmosphere is not conducive to seeing any sort of tornadoes. Let's see. Good morning from my 8-year-old and me. She loves watching in the mornings. Well, good morning to your 8-year-old. Brittany, what's your 8-year-old's name? Throw it in the chat so I can give a big old shout out to your 8-year-old. I've got a 9 and an 11-year-old, almost 10 and 12, which is mind-blowing to me. Hey, by the way, tomorrow we'll see wraparound showers as the low swings its way off to our east and northeast, and so that's going to give us a northwesterly flow. Cool wraparound showers. Some of my most favorite showers ever are like those little instability showers on the backside. I love thunderstorms, and I love snow, but for some reason, I just really like those wraparound showers because it just gives us a good idea how the atmosphere works. We don't have a lot of upper level instability, just some low level to produce some fair weather clouds, and sometimes enough to bring us some wraparound rain showers, which, by the way, will turn into some wraparound snow showers across the higher elevations. So we're looking at some snow across the mountains of East Tennessee, and then a cool, dry weekend. Saturday's cooler than Sunday, but it's definitely going to be a pleasant weekend with dry weather conditions and a great weekend to get out and continue that spring cleanup. So let's go ahead and dive into the details on the 7-day. We're going to be in the mid-60s today, and then with the possibility of some large hail, damaging wind, showers on Friday, but cooler weather. We're going to be in the upper 50s both Friday and Saturday. Now look at Saturday morning. Saturday and Sunday, we could have some areas of frost developing. So if you have ball games early in the morning, it's going to be chilly. Saturday's cool but pleasant. Sunday's going to be a great day to get out and take a nice little hike. We're at 67 degrees. And just like yesterday, sunny and 65 is like the perfect day if you're going to be doing anything to get your blood going, right? Especially if you're going to be out in the direct sunlight. It just feels perfect. Once we get to sunny and 75, it starts to get, just a little toastier, doesn't it? Especially in the direct sunlight. And then another little weak wave moves on through Tuesday night, and Wednesday, possibly cooling our temperatures back down into the mid-60s on Wednesday. Good morning, Missy, Linda. Her name is Morgan. Big shout out to 8-year-old Morgan this morning. How are you, my friend? I hope you have a great day at school today. And thanks for watching East Tennessee weather every single morning. My 9-year-old always is opening up my app. Hey, Dad, can I have your phone real quick? Why? Well, I want to see what your app's saying for a day part forecast so I can see what recess is going to be like. These are important things to 8 and 9-year-olds, as it should be. That should be the only important thing for an 8 and 9-year-old. How do I dress so I can go play out on recess? All right, here we go. Radar recap over the last 3 hours. Most of the rain's across the Ohio Valley into Kentucky. But we're starting to see that fetch move its way down towards northern Middle Tennessee, just outside of Nashville. This will continue to fill in and swing our way. So the cloud deck's starting to lower a little bit. And that's going to be the story as the cold front approaches. Cloud deck's going to lower, rain chances move on in. So do anticipate rain chances from now through noon today. So grab the umbrellas and the rain jackets. And again, you can track it with the East Tennessee weather app. See how long those rain showers are going to be. If you're hitting lunch and it's raining, how much longer do we have to stay inside so we don't get wet? Then we have to head back to work. Womp, womp. Anyways, so your severe weather outlook today by the Storm Prediction Center, a level 1, level 2 risk for East Tennessee. Basically from Cleveland, Chattanooga, Whitwell, Saudi Daisy, and Dunlap, we have a level 2 risk. And that's where we have the greatest extent for some larger hail, but still hail is a possibility with all of our storms. So when you look at our storm threats for the day today, it is going to be in the afternoon and early evening hours. I've got a medium category for damaging wind along with large hail, but I've put tornadoes low, but none. Kind of counterintuitive, maybe. Clear as mud. It's like, which way you want to go? Like this way? Where are we going? This? Well, because again, it's never zero, but it's likely not to happen. And then low category for isolated flooding and flash flooding threats. Again, not expecting anything major. And by the way, the U.S. Drought Monitor comes out today. I'll highlight some rainfall totals over the last 7 days and talk about how the fact that I think it's going to be totally wiped out. I don't think we're going to have any sort of drought or abnormally dry conditions around East Tennessee once it comes out today. All right, so let's talk hail sizes for a second. Severe hail starts, and Winter Weather Watchers know this. Anybody that's taken the Storm Spotter program with the National Weather Service knows this, but just to recap, severe hail starts at 1 inch in diameter, which is the size of a quarter. So anytime we get hail and you want to take a photo of it, put a quarter next to it because that lets us know that's the severe hail. Don't put it in your hand because everybody's hand sizes are different. Maybe put it next to your cell phone because we all know how big cell phones are or little, depending on whatever. Anyways, but if you put the hailstones next to a quarter and take a photo of it, it gives us an idea of this is larger than a quarter, this is smaller than a quarter, and a quarter signifies severe storms. Now, with that said, we also could see 1.5 inches to 1.75 inches size hail, which is the size of ping pongs or golf balls. That is damaging hail, and I would highly recommend if those storms start to fire up, have a place to put your car under cover. A parking garage, your garage, your carport, whatever it may be. You don't want your car out if those storms are going to be firing up today because large hail, that would be damaging hail. That would put dents in your car and dents on your rooftops. So, yeah, something to kind of keep in mind. Now, again, it's going to be isolated to nature and subject to how much instability we get in the atmosphere once this first round of rain comes on through. So here we go. First round of rain comes through this morning through lunchtime, okay? Probably hanging on to some showers for the lunch hour for you folks across Upper East Tennessee and the mountain counties. And then we'll see some sunshine, which helps destabilize the atmosphere. Here comes the cold front and the low-pressure system, and that's going to spark off some isolated afternoon severe storms, supercell thunderstorms. Just like look towards Spring City. That's the sign that we could see any of those afternoon, evening thunderstorms will produce some damaging wind gusts and the possibility of some larger hail. Let's hope that this doesn't happen, but it is possible. And it's going to be kind of hit and miss, and that's where the East Tennessee Weather app will come in handy anyways, where you could track it with the interactive radar, giving you past, current, and future radar of 2 hours. As we get into our Thursday night, Friday morning, again, some wraparound moisture. So do expect some wet roads as we get started on Friday, and I think that's going to be the story throughout our Friday afternoon, Friday evening, as this moisture kind of wraps around this low-pressure system as it tracks its way to the northeast. Now, with that also said, we're also talking about a decent amount of rain, anywhere from a quarter, half, to upwards of 3/4 of an inch of rain can't be ruled out. That's why I put low category for localized flooding, not really expecting flash flooding, but flooding concerns. So, listen, if this is what you needed to know to get out the door this morning, we're done with the forecast for the day today. If you want to stick around, I'm going to go to the bigger picture. We'll go back to the 7-day. But let's recap yesterday. Highs were in the mid to upper 60s. That was below average. I always like to check with you folks. I was forecasting 66 degrees yesterday. Well, we hit 66 degrees. Not too terribly bad. Didn't see any rainfall yesterday, but temperatures this morning as you step outside are in the 40s and 50s, which is warmer than what we had yesterday. Much warmer, 10, 15, 20 degrees warmer than what we had yesterday as well. All right, let's see. 4-inch hail isn't severe, it's biblical. Yeah, no doubt about that. Autopilot. All right, here's your forecast for the day today. 57 degrees at noon, 63 as the kids head home from school. Could start to see those storms fire up between 3 and 5, 3 and 7. 66 as we get into the 4 or 5 o'clock hour, and then down to about 61 by 8 o'clock tonight. If you have ball games tonight, we've got a baseball game at 7:15, 7:10, I think, tonight. So again, you have to watch out for some of these storms as they do fire up. I think they'll start to fade as we get into the 7 o'clock hour, but subject to change for sure. I always like to show you the big picture, the synoptic scale, to show you the evolution of how this is all playing out, to give you a broader perspective. Sometimes we can have our, you can have your blinders on and always keep it local, but it doesn't really give you an idea of how this is all evolving over time. But that takes us all the way through tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. My voice is going down pretty quickly here this morning. I'm telling you, my friends, these allergies are no joke. It has settled to my lungs and my throat, and I'm dying over here. I slept for like 4 hours in my bed yesterday after the show. Just could not get out of bed. I was feeling awful, but we are getting better, sort of. All right, futurecast rainfall. Heaviest rain is going to be from Kentucky, Tennessee, further to the east across the mid-Atlantic and the northeast. And then we're also talking about the chance for some snow. Now, snow likely will be above 3,000 feet in elevation, maybe a few snowflakes around 3,000 feet. As you get up to 4, 5, and 6,000 feet in elevation, we could possibly see a dusting to upwards of 1 to 2 inches of snowfall here locally. So not expecting a whole lot, obviously not going to cause any major concerns or travel troubles whatsoever. But as we highlight that 7-day forecast once again here for you, we will continue to see 66 today, chance for some large hail. Could see some supercell thunderstorms to produce that large hail. Then we're behind this system. We're going to cool back down into the upper 50s as we get into our, say, Friday and Saturday. Sunday is going to be a fantastic day to get out and enjoy, maybe take a nice little hike. Listen, Aspire Park in downtown Clinton is amazing, and I highlight that because I'm going to show you that camera here in a second. Warm on Monday at 76, still warm, about average weather, I should say. Average high for this time of year is now 69. We'll be right around that on Tuesday, and then cooling temperatures. I don't know why my warming goes all the way to Wednesday, because we're not going to be warming. We're actually going to be cooling. We'll change that. We will change that. I want to continue the conversation, though, here for just a moment of time. Highlight the weekend forecast. It's going to be beautiful. Sunny and 58 degrees on Saturday, sunny and 67 degrees on Sunday. We continue our conversation with the drought, okay? The U.S. Drought Monitor. This is what we have going on. So we still have a little bit of a moderate drought towards Tri-Cities and across the southern mountains of East Tennessee. But most locations are in a abnormally dry conditions. But when you look at the past 7 days of rainfall, we've seen quite a bit of rain, anywhere from 1.5 to over 2.5 inches in some locations. And that's why I think that the drought will be taken out pretty quickly. And I think I wouldn't imagine that we have much activity left or any sort of abnormally dry conditions left. Maybe some abnormally dry conditions across the mountain counties. Food for thought all the way through the end of the month. Who's going to get snow across the country? Well, believe it or not, we're still looking at some big-time snow across the Rockies, the Wasatch, over across the Sierra Nevadas, the Cascades, into the Pacific Northwest, and yes, even across parts of New England. But we're not going to necessarily see that, so that's good news. Let's give a big shout-out to downtown Clinton and Anderson County this morning. That's a live look there. I'll get some of those cameras relaunched here. Just haven't had the energy to do a whole lot. So if you've been looking for the cameras on YouTube or the app or the website, I apologize. I've been down for the count for the last couple of days. Enough energy to muster through the show, and that's about it. By the way, it's 6:17 here as we get the day started. Got Brandon joining us this morning. Let's see what Brandon's saying. Put it next to a coin. Absolutely. I don't think we've ever had anything larger than golf ball. Not true. Not true. It was 2010 or 2011, I think it was. Much of West Knoxville got destroyed. And South Knoxville did as well by some extremely large hail. It was bigger than golf ball. I believe at that time, don't quote me on that, I believe it was closer to between golf ball and tennis ball size hail is what we had. Let's see what he says. April 2011 was golf ball size with that tornado outbreak, but the early day rain, we probably won't get anything too bad without the sunshine. I think we will get some sunshine, though, back behind the system before those cells start to fire up. And if we do, that's going to destabilize the atmosphere. There's always a lot of ifs when we're talking about the potential of something happening. Obviously, we don't want it. It's not like we're like, well, maybe we'll get, these kind of storms, we just don't really know where they're going to fire up necessarily. If we have some sort of outflow boundaries, maybe they'll fire up along that. Well, there we go. We'll see what happens. Brandon, are you a meteorologist or a social meteorologist, or, do you just love weather? Do you want to join the Witcher Weather Watchers? Are you a storm nut? How old are you, by the way? That's good. That's another great question. I mean, listen, are you over 18? Let's just say that. Yeah, they're terrible. Terrible this morning. Thank you, Cheryl. I appreciate it. I don't feel great. And now I'm starting to lose my voice once again. I got a prescription, so it's going to be a few days before it starts to take shape. Every year, it happens to me every year. If you've been with me for a long time, even when I worked at the TV stations here in the southeastern U.S., this time of the year, I lose my voice. I get it's not sick. It's more of an infection, allergy, and sinus infection going down to my lungs because I've had pneumonia back in the day. So anytime you've ever had pneumonia, you're more susceptible to getting that lung stuff. Anyways, nobody wants to hear that when we're having breakfast. Let's get to work with the national holidays for the day today. And I haven't even looked at them yet today. So, of course, it is April 10th. Can you believe it's already April 10th? April 10th already. So we're celebrating birthdays and events here today. If you have a birthday, happy birthday to you. It's National Erase Self-Negativity Day. I like this. Erase Self-Negativity Day. Nobody wants negative. Did you know it takes 10 people to combat one negative person? Did you know these stats? Somebody made these stats up, but I remember hearing that one day and I was like, whoa, that's pretty crazy. Positivity spreads quickly like wildfire, right? Negativity brings people down, so nobody wants a negative Nancy around town. Sorry, Nancy, if your name's Nancy. That's just the phrase, right? Nobody wants a Debbie Downer. Geez, Debbie and Nancy, I'm so sorry. Then we got Karen. Oh, my gosh. I'm so sorry if you got these names attached to something negative. We're not going to be negative today. We're erasing negativity. It's National Farm Animals Day. This is awesome. Anybody own a farm? Do you have farm animals? My buddy has farm animals. He lives in Corrington. Got a lot of farm animals. It's National Alcohol Screening Day. This is always a good thing. Check your liver numbers, right? If you drink a lot of alcohol, if you don't, or if you quit recently, the liver regenerates pretty quickly as long as you haven't destroyed it. It's National Cinnamon Crescent Day. Ooh, I love anything cinnamon. Cinnamon crescent rolls, cinnamon anything, coffee cake. We had that the other day. Love anything. Cinnamon ice cream, cinnamon flavored candies, cinnamon bears. Those are like literally my favorite things in the entire world. You missed it, but what hours are they expecting hail? Anytime after into the afternoon, probably after about 3, closer to between 3 and about 7 o'clock here, Curtis. And could see some large hail if it ends up developing. In the 1970s, we had baseball-sized hail in McMinn County. Ugh. That's just going to destroy everything. Siding on homes, rooftops, cars. It is awful. My first car came from a hailstorm car. My mom left her car out back in Colorado. Colorado always gets large hail. We don't typically get as large of hail as the Great Plains and the High Plains, but left her car out. We went to Maine, came back, car was destroyed. She gave it to my brother. My brother got to drive that through high school. Then when he went to college, before he went to college, we were driving through the mountains, hit a deer coming home from skiing, so that car was destroyed. My dad took that money and turned it into another car that I had to pay for. But the softball stuff is usually in Texas, and the flatland trash. Hey, now let's leave the flatland trash of the Midwest out of it, okay? We all have our opinions, I suppose, huh? I feel you on that one. I started Friday. Took my class on the outdoor field trip today, and it's got bad again. Yeah, you can spend any time outdoors. Nobody wants to spend outside and outdoors in the wintertime, unless you're skiing or you have to. And nobody wants to be outdoors during the springtime and have the windows open because of the allergies. And then it gets hot and muggy in the summertime. Nobody wants to spend time outdoors unless you're on the water. But yet East Tennessee is such a beautiful place, isn't it? All right, it's National Siblings Day. I got to give a big shout out to my brothers. What's up, John and Preston? I love you, brothers. Happy National Sibling Day to you. You guys are awesome. We just chatted the other day, a little group chat anyways. We talk every day via text message, but not all the times do we get together. Do we have the chance to get together, unfortunately. And it's National Encourage a Young Writer Day. That is a good one. Encourage those young writers, right? Awesome stuff right there. All right, I want to take you back outside. We're going to show you another couple of views. We'll take you to Hardin Valley here at this hour. Anybody joining us from Carnes, Hardin Valley, Oak Ridge, Solway? A nice quiet start today. You can see the clouds already starting to fill on in. That's going to be the story here as this next little round of rain begins to head our way. Oh, bee pollen helped me so much. Oh, there we go. There are always those things, right? Bee pollen. There's all the home remedies. Yeah, huge hail back then in South Knoxville, says Tammy. You're 46, been following the weather since the blizzard. Nice. Well, if you love weather so much, Brandon, you should hit me up. Mike at easttnweather.com. If you want to be a storm spotter with the National Weather Service, then in turn, you can become a Witcher weather watcher. We just accrued 2 new folks, early this week? Last week? Early this week, I think it was. Well, it's only Thursday. Oh, yeah, I think it was earlier this week. So hit me up if you want to do that. Take the National Weather Service Storm Spotter program. You can do it virtually, but we've got a lot of courses coming up. I actually think I missed the one in Knox County. I wanted to go, but I've been sick, and we're still dealing with our house. We said we had our first new car destroyed in 2011 by hail, 254 miles on it, and $16,000 worth of damage. Boo. Boo, Roz, boo. Fingers crossed, good weather in Bristol this Sunday for the race. Tom, it's going to be amazing weather for the Bristol race on Sunday. I'm a reliable weather watcher in Chattanooga area, Cleveland to be exact. Well, East Tennessee Weather covers all of East Tennessee, so if you'd like to join our program as well, Brandon, which of course you're joining this morning, which I appreciate, again, hit me up, Mike at easttnweather.com. Let me know. But I appreciate you doing what you do. Let's see. What? I don't know what you're saying there, Lee. It does spread like wildfire. I'll take cinnamon crescent rolls. Yummy. National Siblings Day, says Jason. Janice. Cinnamon Toast Crunch is like my favorite cereal ever, hands down. Good morning, Kipton and Caden. How are you guys this morning? I'll be joining you inside to help you take you out to school, take you to the bus stops here this morning. I think we'll be able to walk today, kids, because it's warmer. 15, 20 degrees warmer than what we had yesterday. Yeah. No doubt. I went test drove a car yesterday. The guy's like, we have yellow, and yellow. What color would you like? They're all covered in pollen. Katrina X says hi to Caden. Hey, Caden. This is going to be perfect camping weather. Let's hope this holds. We're going to be camping for Easter next weekend. You can also mix honey with dram of Glenfiddich. 18, I'm not quite sure what you're saying. We just put that up on the screen for other folks to read. Well, there we go, Brandon. If you're already a storm spotter, you already have your certificate from the National Weather Service, hit me up, Mike at easttnweather.com. You can join the private chat. You'll have to download the Signal app, by the way. And Julie says, good morning to you guys as well. I think that was meant for the kids. Anyways. All right, my friends, we're going to wrap things up here this morning. Don't forget to scan the QR code in the bottom right-hand side of the screen. Download the East Tennessee Weather app. It's your one-stop shop for weather. Listen, I see people out in the public all the time, and the folks that do have it absolutely, positively love it. It's their now go-to weather app. Clean, simple, easy, and efficient. You can get your classic weather forecast and your daily forecast weather updates. You can get 1 minute with Witcher if you just want 1 minute of my time, and that's all you have. Check that out. You get access to the only 24-hour weather channel. Plus, you get watches and warnings. Storms approaching, lightning near you. You can check out the interactive radar that gives you past, current, and future radar of 2 hours, which really helps you plan the rest of your day if you start to get rained out. These are all things that are all brought to you by our local sponsors of East Tennessee. And this morning's Wake Up with Witcher sponsor is Volunteer Home Mortgage. Give Jerry and her team a call today. 865-238-7500 or visit them online at volunteerhomemortgage.com. We sure hope you have a great day. Be safe, be kind to each other. Check back in with your noon weather update. And if I need to do some live severe weather coverage, I'll be broadcasting live on all East Tennessee weather platforms. Plus, don't forget to put a quarter next to the hailstones if you get hailstones today. And send me a photo, upload that through the Witcher's Pictures link, also using the East Tennessee Weather app. We'll see you back here later on tomorrow morning for Wake Up with Witcher, starting off at 6 a.m. See you then.